Welcome to Burn Babylon Burn with Mud and Andio. We're
Hey,
here to encourage everybody to see Babylon Burn because we're tired of Babylon
yeah, how
encroaching on
about
everything.
how about watching it explode instead?
When did that take out some of us with it?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
The Georgia Guidestones, one of the pillars the other day, exploded. It was a pretty cool video. It happened at exactly 4:03:33, as if there's not anything significant going on there. Um, a lot of I've seen so many opinions on this. I'm totally happy it's gone, but I get what people are saying. A lot of people are saying that this could be an inside thing, and I think maybe based off of the time that it happened, that's kind of a hat tip that it is an inside thing. Uh, and you know it's pretty well guarded. Some people have been able to vandalize it throughout the years, and it's been cleaned up every time. But it's also pretty well guarded. It's in the middle of nowhere, right about the area where Ted Turner grew up. Um, it's funny, huh?
hmm, I don't
Do you
really
know
know.
about it? Okay, so
But
it's these tablets, and it's got things scrawled all on it. It's a lot of people, a lot of us call it the Ten Commandments of Satan. It's got a keep the world population under 500 million or at about 500 million, something like that. It ties into a lot of this um, nature stuff, like it perfect harmony with nature, but it also says to, you know, breed for eugenic style purposes. Not exactly in those words, but it says everything in kind of a fluffy way whenever you know what it really means. Let's see. There's a couple of really good sources on this. What I would do if you're interested in learning more about this is Brad Binkley from the Propaganda Report recently did a pretty big coverage on this, and he talks about why he believes it's an inside job, and I'm kind of with it. And it's funny, you know, you've got like the whole conspiracy community stirred up, and then we're all talking about inside jobs again. But yeah, that's the way things go sometimes.
that's interesting. Now, have you heard that they turned on the neutron
The
blasting
Hadron
together thing?
Collider in CERN, yeah, where they have that great statue of Shiva, and there's been some weird videos that have come out of that place. Although you know, most people say they're fake. I But yeah, yeah, they turn on the Hadron Collider. A lot of jokes this week about shifting the timelines and all that other fun stuff. But
Well,
I don't know what they're doing. Well, Alex Jones has some cool ideas on it as far as um, a way to open up demonic portals without sacrificing things like that.
well, there's a lot of, I mean, the amount of craziness that just happened is kind of wild.
Oh
Because
yeah,
we
it's been a
had,
week. Wait, what did you say? Sorry, the audio clipped out for a second there. I can't hear you
well, I'll
anymore.
continue saying what I, okay? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Because I can
Yeah,
hear
I
you
can hear
just
you.
fine.
Okay.
Okay. Well, all we have to do is say something about that other thing, and then it happens. But, I mean, we've had Shinzo Abe assassinated,
Right.
had the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka thrown out of office. Um, we'll cover these more a little bit more in depth. We've had the Prime Minister of England step down. Of course, the Georgia Stones hit. The farm riots in the Dutch land, Dutch
Yeah, we talked about that a
farmers
little bit
riots.
last week. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just everything. For some reason, everything's just moving a little faster right now. It seems.
Yeah, that there is a thing as far as the way that they plan to do this great reset is that they want people to lose confidence in their local leadership. And so that's what I think is going on, except for, I mean, they're directly behind what's happening in all of these places. It's really like all you have to do is follow the money a little bit. Um, but uh, but yeah, they do want uprisings, because whenever things get chaotic, they can come in with their UBI and their bug slop and offer you, bugs and free money, and people tend to take security over freedom almost every single time. So I'm a little concerned for that.
Well, let's talk about what's happening in Sri Lanka just to debunk that theory a little bit. So, do you know anything about what's happening in Sri Lanka?
I do know that there's riots everywhere, and yeah, they're in the process of doing their best to overthrow their government. It's what a real insurrection looks
Hang
like. I can't. I didn't hear you.
wait for the reset.
What's going on? Okay, something going on with your phone there?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, good, good. So yeah, there's been riots in the street, and they showed up and ousted their prime minister, right? What's going on?
Oh no, there we don't go. What's going on here?
You keep cutting out.
And so do you.
Really?
But yeah, but it's back now. So
Okay.
um, basically, what's going on in Sri Lanka is that we keep on getting is that they tried to go all organic and ban all fertilizers. Basically, they tried to force they tried to basically force the entire farming industry to shift on a dime without helping them at all. They just did a complete shift. They banned everything, and so they've had food shortages, job losses, etc. Because if you're going to do that, you need to try to phase it in a little bit more slowly, etc., not just shove it down. And so the things weren't planned out for that. So they've had crop yields that weren't working, and there was a lot of other stuff like that, plus tons of corruption and stuff. But it's interesting the fact that the people were just like, look, you can't change everything on us right away. We're not standing for this. It's similar to what's happening. It's a similar thing to what's happening with the Dutch farmer uprising. And so there's a certain push that the elites go for that the people will at some point not stand for anymore. I mean,
Right. Right.
was Boris Johnson was almost kind of quirky. I was like, yeah, that guy's eccentric. We don't even know how many kids he has, etc. We like the policy, so we're going to push for those policies. We're standing behind him. And then when he starts being corrupt, putting people in lockdowns and having parties at his house at the same time, they're like, we've had enough. You're gone.
Yeah. A lot of talk about this throughout the week kind of says that they're basically going to install a more globalist in his place. Although he really did come in with a lot of good ideas, and then they and as soon as he got the power, he was doing everything that he was told to do. He was a complete puppet.
Well, not exactly. He was doing everything he was told to do once COVID hit.
Right,
He did.
right. Yeah, that
He
was the
did.
turn. That was the major
He did
turn.
back Brexit. He did back Brexit and
Yeah,
got them Brexit in a good way. And a lot of people forget about that.
right, right. But here toward the end, he's like, the only way that I'm going to step down is if I believe that I'm the or if I'm getting in the way of helping the Ukraine, which is really funny just because that's the virtue signal that he went for. Somebody got to him. It had to have been right at the COVID onset. Um, because I don't think he was personally for it, and then he locked his country down and made all the terrible mistakes. Neil Ferguson, who came up with the projections, they got us all locked down is from England as well.
Yeah, and to me, it's very interesting that we saw a lot of things like that. Like I can't remember if we live streamed about it or we just talked in private about maybe the reason Trump started, not acting the way he did in the first 3 years of his presidency was because he got cut off from the people. And Boris Johnson may very well have had this similar thing that he couldn't hear the voice of the people anymore because of censorship that they blamed on COVID. So they just started censoring everybody that was speaking the truth because they were also speaking the truth about COVID.
Well, you do
And
know
so
about it. There was a few African presidents, like Ivory Coast, I believe, Botswana, and then over in the Atlantic, Haiti's president. They all came out against the COVID nonsense, and they all didn't make it through the rest of that year.
as in they're dead.
Yes, they are dead. So
Okay.
that's why you see the entire world go into lockstep, and that's something that they've had planned since the early 2000s. Whenever they had a simulated program where with an anthrax attack, and it was a simulation in this case, but the protocols that they went into were media lockstep and gubernatorial lockstep. Basically what we saw play out during that event. So during our recent events.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, we've seen the Sri Lanka happening. Then we've seen Shinzo Abe is now dead.
Yeah, it looks
He's been assassinated.
like you can even make guns in places where there's mega gun control. That that was a pretty interesting makeshift shotgun. I'm like, okay, how are we expected to believe that this guy took a guy out with a couple of pipes duct taped to a piece of 2x4? But then I saw the rest of it, because in the first pictures you couldn't see that there was a trigger or anything like that on there. But uh, yeah, somebody went MacGyver on him.
Yeah, and for him, he's been pushing for basically getting back to armament of Japan to protect them against China. He was talking a whole lot about protecting Taiwan. So there's a lot of thoughts that talking about Taiwan, which of course China does not want to hear. So there's a lot of thoughts that that type of thing, that there's a China connection there. Um, and the what was it? But and he was a good friend with Trump as president, etc. And I think Biden didn't address the fact that he died for like 2 days,
Really? Wow.
or didn't it didn't come out until basically today or later on today, something like that. Like there's they I think they're trying to figure out how to consolidate their power, and they're finding out that it's a lot harder than they thought, as shown by Sri Lanka and the Dutch farmer uprisings.
Right. I mean, this seemed like it was some kind of, the guy seemed very fringe that did the assassination, and like sometimes this isn't something that plays into the big global game where we see everything. Sometimes some little guy is able to sneak through and pull something off.
Exactly, and that's the interesting thing about the gun rights that basically got well reinstated by the Supreme Court. It's us being able to stand up more. What was the thing? Dang it! I can't remember the reference I was going to make. But there's a lot of interesting things that are essentially that are shifting right now, and it's to me they've gotten so used to being able to black out media that
Hmm.
just ban all the stuff that they don't want people to know. Now, because of the internet and speech coming out, the fought's being fought to make sure that we can actually know what the truth is, which is why I think you're starting to see these uprisings and these outcries against corrupt government. Because essentially, what's happening in the Dutch farmer uprising is they're trying to squeeze small farmers out so that they can create more subdivisions, is basically what they're trying to do, so that they can get more money.
And Bill Gates is heavily invested in the supermarket chain there as well. That's a fun one that you seem to find that guy everywhere. There's a problem with food these days. Used to find him very, very close to places where people were dying from vaccines as well. So.
Oh, you broke up whenever you said Bill Gates.
Oh, funny. Well, no, you seem to find him really close to these problems with food these days.
For sure. And then one guy that we don't know whether he's going to be a problem or not. Uh, wait, it's not working. Oh,
No, I
screw
see
the
it.
banner. The banner doesn't talk.
Yeah, I see the banner.
Uh, there it is.
Yeah.
But are you paused or
What?
you just can't hear me?
No, you stopped.
There we go.
Okay.
But what's going to happen with? Do you think this play with Elon Musk on threatening to break the Twitter deal? Do you think that's a negotiating tactic to get them to lower the price, or do you think he's serious that he's just done with it?
I listen to No Agenda a lot, and Adam Curry has said that this was just a play to get Twitter to expose themselves, and that Elon's got the money to do that, and he might have already accomplished the goal he needed to, but I kind of still hope that he buys it, just because I have a lot of fun on Twitter, and it's not fun to have the week-long bans whenever I say something that's out of step with the globalist.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would like to see him buy it, but he definitely is. He's put them in a position to where they're going to end up crashing and burning if he doesn't follow through with buying it. Um, but they're basically taking him to court. They're suing him for not going through with the deal, um, or threatening not to go through with the deal. And I think he'd lose $1 billion in a fine, $1 billion fine if he breaks up the deal.
Yeah,
But
that's nothing to him.
that's part of the negotiation tactics, is what it
Yeah,
is. Um,
he probably made more than that whenever he got a whole bunch of y'all to buy shit coins. I
it's
can't hear
quite
you.
possible. Yeah, it's quite possible that he did. I'm trying to mute my mic whenever you're talking because it seems to help the stream not break up.
Oh, okay. Well, it's breaking up really bad today.
Yeah, but yeah, it is quite possible that he played with the shit coins a little bit, um, but this is definitely it's definitely an interesting development and
Oh,
just seeing how a master negotiates.
really quick, while we mentioned that Elon Musk tricked a whole bunch of people into buying shit coins, I want to say that everything on the show is not financial, legal, or medical advice. We don't give advice.
Agreed, 100%.
So
There we
yeah, I see you just changed the banner, and yeah, the banner is about Brandon sending billions of barrels of oil overseas in the middle of this insane fuel price circus that's going on at the moment.
Did you know that his son is tied to a Chinese business overseas that
Yeah,
receives
and
so
they
much
somehow
oil?
got about 100 million of those barrels, which is quite a lot.
There's no corruption here whatsoever. Look the other
No,
way.
no, yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny that all this stuff is happening with the Ukraine, and it's the place that Hunter and Joe have been tied to for so long, and then there's these things with China, and then we're just seeing all the Biden corruption just play out right in front of us, and this decrepit corpse still maintains the presidency.
There was what was it? I think it was Tim Pool mentioned kind of jokingly about the art of war, how you're supposed to appear weak while being strong. What if Biden immediately, once he goes off camera, he's just like, snap back, everything's in place. You do this, you do that, you do this. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I doubt it. It's but the strength behind Biden really is the people that are in his headset. So, or I guess in his hearing aids or whatever the heck he's got on. You saw him mess up the teleprompter the other day. That was pretty good.
Did you see him try to clap earlier yesterday or the day before?
I didn't catch that, but I did catch him putting a medal on someone the wrong way.
Yes. Well, he was at some type of summit. He's drinking water, and then he goes to claps at the wrong time. Like it was like apparently they had a note card in front of him. Please clap now. So he goes to clap, and 3 times he goes and he stops with his hands about 3 or 4 inches away from each other. And then about 30 seconds later, everybody starts clapping, and then he starts clapping, smiling like, "Yeah, yeah, I got it right. I got it right." One of the
I
funniest videos to watch.
I'm really in between too on that. Like you said before, is that it's faking, because some of these things just seem like there's no possible way anybody could be pulling these things, and no one just grabs the crook and pulls them off stage. Um, because yeah, like could it be just faking? I doubt it actually. I think that the dementia set in, and they knew before he got there. First of all, he's got all these corrupt situations that with deals that he's made with his son and his brother, and all of them are playing out in geopolitics, which is it's just crazy. And and then he's bumbling and stumbling through everything. But I think that he was the person that they could manipulate, the person that they could just get to do all kinds of stuff, because he's not that far away from prison. All it takes is just the right place piece at the right time, and you could just go, oh yeah, well this guy belongs in prison clearly.
Oh, there's the thunder.
Woo, nice.
But yeah,
Wish I
the
had that.
oh, dude, it's been miserable because we've had rain and night. The humidity has been at like 64%. It is
Okay, yeah, it's on
horrible. This
120
just
degrees here
walk
in
outside.
Phoenix.
Yeah, that's what it feels like here
Okay,
during the day.
so yeah.
So just because of the humidity, it just cranks that heat right up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the other fun factor about well, the side note about this stuff, it seems very odd that there seems the the reaction is going to be interesting to see because the Democrat states are plummeting right now in productivity, etc. But around here, nothing is slowing down. I'm working 7 days a week just to keep things going. And I don't know if that's because everybody's trying to finish their projects before things collapse, or if it's because so many people are moving here that there's not enough houses. There's not
Oh,
enough
okay.
work, not enough workers to go around in order to try to get things, well, like in order to try to accommodate the shift. I said like 2 years ago, I started thinking like we might see a full on economic collapse, for 6 months to 2 years in the US, but it might not affect the southern, well, not the southern states is the wrong way to say it. It might not affect the red states at all. Or if it
The
does, very, very
productive
minuscule.
states. I don't know. So I'm from Texas, and all the big cities are blue dots in red states, and they're already miserable. They're like Houston is looking. awful with the amount of bumps. Austin, oh my gosh, like the amount of bumps in Austin now is crazy. It like the places don't look the same as they used to before they released the scam virus on us. And you know, it's obvious that it's due to their policies, but all of the red states have big blue cities in them, and that's just how that works. So those big blue cities are going to drag everything down with them anyway.
Possibly, but I mean, the amount of movement that's coming here, and the people coming here want to keep working, like they want to keep producing and building.
Well, not the
So
guys here. The guys in front of the truck stop here want to ask you for change or $1 or something like that at a time where you can get a job today. You can walk into a place right now and have a job by the end of the day. I didn't hear you there.
oh, because you paused and I was waiting to see if you caught up.
Oh no, I'm here.
Yeah. But yeah, but to me, it's I just want to know how those millions of barrels of the strategic oil reserve, how did those get sent overseas? Like, and
The
apparently it wasn't just China. It got sent to tons of different areas.
Yeah, a lot of it ended
Why?
up in Italy. Yeah. These
Especially
are
when like,
corrupt deals, you know? I mean, and the funny part about this is the strategic oil reserve is paid for by us, you know? Like that's oil that we've already purchased as taxpayers. So, and it's meant for emergency situations, especially for the military. And we're just burning it up. This reminds me a lot of Bush Jr.'s administration, where there was a surplus of everything. The Republican Congress and Bill Clinton balanced the budget for the first time ever. There was a surplus of everything, and by the end of Bush's 8 years, it was all in deficit. And so we're seeing that kind of play out again, and now we're even seeing worse with Biden. Just everything he touches turns to poop. He's got like the poop Midas touch.
and to me that brings me back to what I was saying about the results of the pandemic is that there was an uprising all over the world of people paying attention and getting involved, and politicians were starting to listen to the people. And then, whenever the pandemic rolled through, the politicians started listening to the experts again, and things went to crap.
Well, they were only certain experts. There's plenty of experts that like you saw the credentials on Dr. Peter McCullough, and you know he's got like a massive list of them, and he was completely ignored through this thing. So it was only the experts that the media selected, and they were only the experts that were saying lock us down and to panic react to something that still has a 99 point, I believe, 6% survival rate, or is it 99.96? It's something crazy like that. It was not worthy of destroying the entire country, obviously.
My I forgot my truck unrolled and it started raining.
Oh, you got your windows down.
Yeah, because it was so hot.
Oh, right, yeah. And now you need to mute it.
Come on, come on, come on, Windows. Finish going up. Okay, there we go.
All right.
But yeah, so we're right at 30 minutes now, and I'm pretty sure the connection is going to get worse because there's clouds blocking the signal.
Right, right. That makes sense. Did we cover all the bases that you wanted to cover today?
Yes, but somehow you're in my truck speaker now. Oh, wait. There.
Yeah, your Bluetooth. There you go. All right.
I don't like the way the Bluetooth works. Why can't I just put it on a setting to where it doesn't come through? But
Yeah.
anyway.
All right.
But
Well, let's sign off
yeah,
then. Unless there's something else that you wanted to cover.
I think we covered it pretty thoroughly. This has been Burn
All right.
Babylon Burn.
Thanks, y'all.
All right. Peace out.